You guys ready?
All right. Here I know. Oh, na, 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 na. Oh, na, 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 na. MyT.
Season 3.
Good evening and welcome back to another edition of the MyT Sports Podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Dollar Throw My Daler. It is May 25th. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. You know what we have today? You know what we have today. It's playoffs. It's playoffs and it's going to be playoffs. Got a good show for you today. It's May 25th. It's about like 86 or so something degrees. I've had a good week. I've had a good month. I've left you guys for a while, but you know what I say. Regardless of the time.
Take that, take that, take that.
And regardless of the weather.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
It's always a good time to talk some sports. So let's start talking. Back at it like a sports fanatic. Woo! Okay, we gotta figure out what's going on here. We have definitely got to figure out what's going on here. So I'm seeing what you guys are seeing, but I don't know how to get it off. I just don't know how to get it off. Actually, nope, I know exactly how. Booyah. There we go. So welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I do appreciate you guys coming back and listening to the podcast. It's another one of them days. It's another one of them days in the neighborhood. It's another one of them days in the neighborhood. And you know, let's just get this right here. Let's just get this right here. We trying out a bunch of new different things. We trying out a new mic. We trying out a new set. It's been a while. I got to give shout outs to the Brooklyn Cafe because if you guys have been wondering where the hell I've been at, that's exactly where I've been at. I've been at the Brooklyn Cafe. I've been over here doing my thing behind the scenes. Been a little production company. Shout out to them. Shout out to Freddie. Shout out to Dawn. Shout out to the whole fam. You know what I mean? Shout out to the boys from Brooklyn. You know, Nick 2.0 on graduated. Shout out to everybody else out there graduating. But it's time. We got to talk about some sports because last time we spoke, we were still early in the playoffs. We were dumb early in the playoffs. We spoke maybe one time this whole week. So it's gonna be one of them things, right? It's gonna be one of them things that Brooklyn's in the house where we kind of had to wait till right. And you know how I am. If you guys have been watching me for 3 years now, you know how I am when it comes to the playoffs. I could have came to you every single week, but it would have been so reactionary. And I know that's what you guys wanted. I know that's what you want, but I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be able. B. I'm sorry. Sorry. But so what's going on here, right? Is that we have both games right now going into Game 6. If you've been able to catch it so far, we have Golden State Cleveland, right? Sorry, we have Golden State Houston, Game 6. Houston is up 3-2. You have Cleveland going up, or you have Cleveland going into Boston right now, with Boston up 3-2. And now they're going back into Cleveland. So before a couple of these things get addressed, right? Before a couple of these things get addressed, there's one thing that I definitely had to address, right? Because it's funny, and we're gonna store in the West. We definitely go to store in the West for a while. All right. So let's take a quick pause. We gotta take a quick pause on that music because you know what, we have to make sure you guys get in here real perfectly. We're gonna adjust the West first.
First of all,
I find it funny. I find it funny how all of a sudden that there's this rivalry with Houston and Golden State, right? And maybe it's just me here. That there's a rivalry with Golden State and Houston. There's a rivalry with Golden State and Houston. And to be honest with you, all of me, I quite don't get it because I understand that Golden State has been the team to chase, right? Golden State has been the team to chase for the last 3 years or so. But this has been a rivalry for the last 3 years. Like if this is a rivalry, this has been a very new rivalry. But this kind of makes sense though, with Houston saying that they've been over-obsessing with Golden State, and they've been obsessed with Golden State. Because if they've been obsessed with Golden State, then they actually have the right player on their team. Because there's not a rivalry with Houston and Golden State. There's a rivalry with Chris Paul and Stephen Curry. And that's where the bigger rivalry is at. Get a little bit of wiggle room in here. This is where I like my things at, right? So there's a rivalry with Chris Paul and Steph Curry more than anything else, right? That's where the true rivalry is at. That's where the real true rivalry is at. Is between those two guys, because everything else is kind of secondary. Because you have to understand, right? Let's go back in time. Let's go back a little bit and kind of remind you guys that there used to be a rivalry with New Orleans and Golden State. For what reason? Golden State wasn't even Golden State then, and New Orleans was making it to the playoffs and failing in the first and second round. That was Chris Paul and Stephen Curry. Because Stephen Curry came into the league, and all of a sudden people were like, well, you know, this guy can kind of catch him. Maybe this is going to be the next person that's going to take care of him. Maybe this is going to be the next great point guard. And by the time he got to the Clippers, Stephen Curry became that. And not only did Stephen Curry become that, Golden State became champions by surpassing the LA Clippers after the Clippers were up. Stephen Curry starts his legacy. Stephen Curry starts his reign. I don't want to say the number one thing, but probably the weirdest things here, right? Is that now, as we all speak, he goes to Houston, and as you said, Houston made a comment. Houston said that, yo, we are obsessed with Golden State, and now all of a sudden there's this Houston Golden State rivalry. Well, technically there was never a Houston Golden State rivalry, right? There was never really a Houston Golden State rivalry. What there used to be is maybe Houston trying to catch Golden State, maybe James Harden trying to get to the level where everybody else is at, but not to where we're at, that this is a rivalry. But then they get Chris Paul. And Chris Paul's presence there, more than anything else, right? Chris Paul's presence there now made it a rivalry. That's what made it a rivalry, was Chris Paul's presence there. Because without Chris Paul's presence being there, then this is just Houston trying to chase Golden State and hoping that they become successful. But now it gets a little extra of nastiness. And we get to see that nastiness unfold right in front of us, which is beautiful. It's beautiful to watch if you haven't been watching it. What you get, right? Because what we're getting out, and we said this, we said it right here on the podcast, and we said this to the whole entire world, so the whole entire world can hear that the Houston Rockets needed to be 100% healthy just to have a chance to beat Golden State. And Golden State needed to be 100% healthy to beat a 100% healthy Houston Rockets team. Now, I know it kind of sounds like I said the same thing twice, but no, it's not the same thing twice. What I'm saying is that Houston can't have injuries the way that Golden State has injuries. And Golden State can't afford to have injuries against Houston. But if both teams are completely healthy, if both teams are completely 100% healthy, then we pick Golden State to win. We believe Golden State is going to win this. But if Golden State is missing one key component, one person, then Golden State loses their edge. And now a 100% healthy Houston can beat a Golden State team that is missing just one piece, just one little piece. See, Golden State can beat 100% healthy Houston. I don't think 100% healthy Houston can beat 100% healthy Golden State. But with a missing person, yes, you can. Yes, they can. But now we starting to see things unfold, right? Because this is exactly how things are happening right now. Is that Golden State is not 100%. They're missing Andre Iguodala. Andre Iguodala, baby hot. They used to call him B hot. You know what I mean? Baby AI. Because his name was Andre Iguodala and he played for Philly and he used to carry that team. And we remember watching him put up 20 something plus points a game. You know, flirted with a triple double, but always being gassed in the fourth quarter. And that was kind of his story. And now then he came to Golden State and it was bam, I'm a winner. I'm a winner. And now he's injured. And now you seeing these games starting to come a little bit closer than real life. At least the series become a little bit closer than what's comfortable. And just when you thought that things were probably done with, because this last game, and you've been seeing this last game of Golden State in Houston, they have they've come down. Not actually say where they come down. They've just been interested. They've been some taunting. Stephen Curry was hot one game, then Stephen Curry wasn't hot another game. And listen, even with Andre Iguodala being out injured, now let me point out something else too. Because I don't think everybody else is realizing this. Golden State's not healthy. Stephen Curry is not healthy. And let's not forget that Stephen Curry is not 100% healthy. Let me see this if I can do this way. They are not 100. They are not 100% healthy, and I think people forget that.
Aren't you tired of being?
This segment is brought to you by Multiverse Games, by the way. This game has some nasty to it because Stephen Curry hasn't been healthy, but we've seen the nasty take place, right? Very first game, we see Draymond Green pushing down James Harden or mushing James Harden after a simple layup. And you see, and I'm not gonna lie, you see Draymond Green do this a lot, and it kind of goes by the wayside. When he got dunked on in this last game, when he got dunked on in Game 5, James Harden didn't just fall to the ground. James Harden was pushed to the ground. Look at Draymond Green's follow through. Look at the follow through. So look at the follow through. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. James Harden gets pushed down by Draymond Green. Testing a new mic. I like how it sounds. I'm not gonna lie. It has potential. Definitely has potential. So I'm not gonna lie. I fell asleep early in the last game. So when I left the game, Golden State was up. Stephen Curry was breaking out a new shimmy. It was a new shimmy. It wasn't the old shimmy. It was a new shimmy. Which I was like, that's kind of weird. He's bringing out a new shimmy. He's bringing out a new shimmy today. It ain't the same old shimmy. But then Chris Paul comes out with his own shimmy. And oh my God, can I tell you some of these shots that Chris Paul was making last night? And the bad thing about it, it was Chris Paul at the top of the key. Let's work the switch. Let's get what's this muscle bound big head dude that used to play for Indiana called? All of a sudden I'm forgetting his name. Why can't I remember his name? Did I mention that this segment here is brought to you by Multiverse Games, where you save more so you can play more. You got them on Instagram, Multiverse Video Games. So, Houston Rockets. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. I'm complete. David West. There we go. Thank you. Good looks. We saw this for 3 straight plays and almost 4 straight plays. Chris Paul gets the ball. Chris Paul asks for the pick play. The pick play leads to a switch. That switch leads to David West going out on Chris Paul. First play, Chris Paul blows right past him. Layup. Come back down the court. Chris Paul grabs the ball again. They call for the pick and roll. They put David West into action. Shot over David West. And David West is 6'9", 6'10". And he's contested these shots. Third time down the field, down the court. Happens again. David West brought into the action because of the pick and roll play. Then next thing you know, I like how that sounds. I really do like how that sounds. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fan of this mic. This mic can work. This mic can work and it's portable. And it doesn't even need to be that close. I'm hungry. Like I need to give me some lemonade. You know that Publix lemonade, how I like it. David West gets put into the action for a third time. Chris Paul dribbles, pulls up 3-pointer, shot. They call for they set up the same play. They set up the same play for a fourth time. Klay Thompson has none of it. Klay Thompson waves it off. Like, yo, David West, go that way, waves him off. But Chris Paul dribbles a couple times, moves a couple times, runs the answer, shot. Next thing you know, coming down the court, right in front of Stephen Curry's face, and he's hitting him with a shimmy, yo, shimmy, yeah. And next thing you know, I'm asleep. And I wake up and I see that this game is over and it's 98-94. 98-94. The Houston Rockets are now officially taking a 3-2 lead over Golden State. Now, unfortunately, I know a lot of people want to see Chris Paul get a ring. I know there's a lot of people that want to see James Harden get a ring. A lot of people I think want to see Chris Paul get a ring and they want to see James Harden because Chris Paul's been in the league for a while now. But Chris Paul goes down.
Dirty, Turkish, Archibald, Flatten, Morton, Philip, Martin, Perkaluma, Burton, Boston, Martin, and Adam.
Now, if you're a Houston fan, you should be worried. Because what did I just say at the beginning of this? That if Houston is not 100% healthy, then they cannot beat Golden State. Even if Golden State isn't 100% healthy, Houston needs to be 100% healthy to be able to beat Golden State. They have to be 100% healthy if they think they're going to beat Golden State. And Chris Paul is a major component of that, because so far, one of the reasons they got Chris Paul, we're seeing it unfold right now. Because not only is Chris Paul hungry for his championship, he has something against Stephen Curry personally, and also, James Harden chokes. In these moments, we've seen it as early as his first run with Oklahoma City when they played Miami. We saw it a couple years ago when they played San Antonio, and we're actually seeing it again right now. Where's James Harden? James Harden has a couple of flashes here and there, some defensive plays, a few stops, reading a passing lane here or there. But when it comes to his scoring, where's James Harden? Where's James Harden in the biggest of moments? Where's James Harden really then? James Harden is failing you. Just letting you know, Houston. James Harden, you have a problem. James Harden is failing you. And CP3 looks like he's out of fuel. Because, listen, that hamstring injury is a little bit more restrictive than you may be. It's a little more dangerous than you may even be taking into consideration. It's a little bit more harmful. That it's not that easy of a thing to get over. The hamstring injury in itself. If I'm you guys, if I'm Houston, I'm shutting Chris Paul down for the next game. Listen, I've been dealing with a hamstring injury for God knows how long, and there's days where I feel great and nothing is happening, and then I bend over to unplug, and bam, the hamstring is pulled. Any little slight movement, I'm sitting there all of a sudden, and I feel the hamstring tighten up on me. So, listen, if he's not going to be 100% for Game 6, then basically, if you lose Game 6, you risk him being even worse for Game 7. So don't have him coming into Game 6 at 70%, and then if you need him for Game 7, he's basically less than 50%. Take him at 85, 90% in Game 7. Have him wrap his leg up as if he's trying to cut off an artery to his own goddamn brain. Because that's when you're going to need him. Because if you don't have him and all of his guts in Game 7, then it's Golden State in 7. We're going to take a quick word, listen to our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to talk about whatever the fuck the NFL is doing with their new rule decision. The Golden State's, this Cleveland series that's about to start in a couple of minutes, and my next PPW event, and also where you'll be able to find me next Wednesday from 12 to 7. Take a quick peek. That's a quick peek. But a word from our sponsor, folks.
Ripped off by those other guys. Then
wait, we still getting there. We still getting there.
Electroconvulsive therapy, part 1.
let me put you on a game. Being taken advantage of isn't a game, and it needs to stop. Aren't you tired of being ripped off by those other guys? Then head to Multiverse Video Games and get the value you deserve on your games and gaming products. Your games cost money, and you shouldn't feel like you're just giving them away. So why continuously buy a membership for prices and deals that you should be getting anyway? Multiverse Games not only has fair pricing and great trading deals, Multiverse has a wide variety of games, not just all your popular next-gen titles, but also all your favorite old-school titles and systems, starting as early as Atari and Nintendo to as current as PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and yes, that does include PlayStations, GameCubes, and Xboxes in between. Even family owned and operated for over 10 years, just off the intersection of 183rd and 7th Avenue in the Nurses Registry Plaza. That's conveniently located at 830 Northwest 183rd Street, Miami Gardens, Florida 33169. Believe it or not, just 5 minutes from Sun Life Stadium, $7.90 the ticket, and oh no, let's not forget Tootsie's Adult Entertainment Center. Multiverse Games, where you save more so you can play more.
Compulsive Therapy Part 1.
Let me put you on a game. Being taken advantage of isn't a game and it needs to stop. Aren't you tired of being ripped off by those other guys? Then head to Multiverse Video Games and get the value you deserve on your games and gaming products. Your games cost money, and you shouldn't feel like you're just giving them away. So why continuously buy a membership for prices and deals that you should be getting anyway? Multiverse Games not only has fair pricing and great trading deals, Multiverse has a wide variety of games, not just all your popular next-gen titles, but also all your favorite old-school titles and systems, starting as early as Atari and Nintendo to as current as PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and yes, that does include PlayStations, GameCubes, and Xboxes in between. Even family owned and operated for over 10 years, just off the intersection of 183rd and 7th Avenue in the Nurses Registry Plaza. That's conveniently located at 830 Northwest 183rd Street, Miami Gardens, Florida 33169. Believe it or not, just 5 minutes from Sunlight Stadium, $7.90 the ticket, and oh no, let's not forget Tootsie's Adult Entertainment Center. Multiverse Games, where you save more so you can play more.
Electroconvulsive Therapy Part 1.
Let me put you on a game. Being taken advantage of isn't a game and it needs to stop. Aren't you tired of being ripped off by those other guys? Then head to Multiverse Video Games and get the value you deserve on your games and gaming products. Your games cost money, and you shouldn't feel like you're just giving them away. So why continuously buy a membership for prices and deals that you should be getting anyway? Multiverse Games not only has fair pricing and great trading deals, Multiverse has a wide variety of games, not just all your popular next-gen titles, but also all your favorite old-school titles and systems, starting as early as Atari and Nintendo to as current as PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and yes, that does include PlayStations, GameCubes, and Xboxes in between. Even family owned and operated for over 10 years, just off the intersection of 183rd and 7th Avenue in the Nurses Registry Plaza. That's conveniently located at 830 Northwest 183rd Street, Miami Gardens, Florida 33169. Believe it or not, just 5 minutes from Sunlight Stadium, $7.90 the ticket, and oh no, let's not forget Tootsie's Adult Entertainment Center. Multiverse Games, where you save more so you can play more.
Electroconvulsive Therapy Part 1.
Let me put you on a game. Being taken advantage of isn't a game and it needs to stop. Aren't you tired of being ripped off by those other guys? Then head to Multiverse Video Games and get the value you deserve on your games and gaming products. Your games cost money, and you shouldn't feel like you're just giving them away. So why continuously buy a membership for prices and deals that you should be getting anyway? Multiverse Games not only has fair pricing and great trading deals, Multiverse has a wide variety of games, not just all your popular next-gen titles, but also all your favorite old-school titles and systems, starting as early as Atari and Nintendo to as current as PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and yes, that does include PlayStations, GameCubes, and Xboxes in between. Even family owned and operated for over 10 years, just off the intersection of 183rd and 7th Avenue in the Nurses Registry Plaza. That's conveniently located at 830 Northwest 183rd Street, Miami Gardens, Florida 33169. Believe it or not, just 5 minutes from Sunlight Stadium, $7.90 the ticket, and oh no, let's not forget Tootsie's Adult Entertainment Center. Multiverse Games, where you save more so you can play more.
And we are back. Welcome back to the Mighty Sports Podcast. I am still your host, Talent Miles Taylor. If you are still listening, then I have to thank you. That means, you know what? You know what? I have to tell you one thing. That means you've only caught this on YouTube. This is no longer being pushed through the website. This is no longer being pushed through the. That's how I could have done. But yeah, this is no longer being pushed through the radio station. This actually isn't being pushed to the radio station tonight. This is actually a special broadcast that you can only catch so far right now on the website or on the YouTube page. So yeah, there's a little echo there. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It adds to the ambience. Adds to the ambience. So yeah, if you're catching this, that means don't worry, folks. I'll make sure I still get things back to you normally. So if you listen to the Mighty Sports Podcast, let me give you all of the places that you can catch us at. You can catch us on YouTube, actually, right? Because we're gonna air this on YouTube as well. So you can catch us on Facebook eventually. If you ever need to catch the Aaron live, you can also catch the Aaron live on mytradio.net. That's mytradio.net or MyT Sports. That's MyT Sports and mytsports.net. Those are a couple places where you can find me. That's where you can find the word. That's where this is gonna be. But we're gonna switch everything over so far. Like, listen, don't worry. Listen, I'm gonna tell you some honestly. The web pages need to go on under some construction. So, but they're still up and running. But we have to have them all revamped. Sorry, like we just got to. We got to be. We got to. So let's talk about somebody. Let's talk about somebody out there because we came back and we said that we wanted to talk about a few of these NFL teams, right? I find something to be highly interesting, right? Highly interesting with what is going on here. Initially, the NFL comes out and they say that they have passed a ruling after after polling the decisions of their owners, and they've come out with the decision saying that they are gonna pass a rule. As they pass a bunch of rules, right? And it was almost pretty slick how he did it. First, he came out and he said that I want to pass a rule. I'm gonna pass a rule about kickoffs. We're gonna pass a rule about targeting offense with this. We're gonna pass a rule about all these other things. All the stuff he says he's gonna pass a rule about, right? And then he says, and when it comes to the national anthem, after taking a poll, and I'm summarizing a little bit here. After taking a poll from the owners, all right, we have come to an agreement that we're going to pass a rule that says there will be no more kneeling during the national anthem. If players don't wish to honor the flag, then those are their words, not mine, right? If they don't want to bow to the flag, then they can. If they don't want to come out to the flag ceremony that the NFL is being paid for, right? They're not paying the Army. The Army's paying them. Not necessarily the Army, but because I'm sorry, I say the Army because I used to work for the Department of Defense, so in the Department of the Army. So when it comes to things like this, like I understand the vendors that we pay. NFL happen to be one of them. So not like they're receiving money, not like we're getting money from them. We're giving them money so they could be patriotic. So we're paying for their patriotism. Okay, fair enough. No, I didn't get frozen. Let's mess with you guys. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. I really shouldn't do that to you guys. I apologize. But they passed out a ruling, and the ruling says that players no longer can kneel for the flag. They can't stand. I mean, they can't hold hands. They can't stand. They can't. They can either salute or they can stand with their head bowed. Something along the nature. But they have to. But if they come out for the ceremony, they will respect the rules of the ceremony. Basically, they're saying that if you don't want to, then you could stay inside the locker room. I don't quite understand that, right? Because one, the backlash that people were getting for kneeling, they're gonna get the same kind of backlash for not coming out. And a lot of it is from the trollers. A lot of it are from people that just like to stir pots to rile up other people that are weak-minded. That's really what it is. Let's just get this straight. What trollers are, right? What trollers really are, is not the fact that they're just putting something out there that let me just say this to kind of mess with the person that I'm targeting this with, even though they don't care about the topic. What they're really doing is adding fuel to and motivating the simple-minded people out there that really believe the nonsense or are really under the misbelief or under the misconception of why are quick to believe an untruth. They're there to to feed into those non-free thinking people. Those people that get crowd mentalities and like to just follow whatever mob is going on. I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and raise our picket force and join the mob mentality about this being disrespectful to the flag and disrespectful to the country and blah, blah, blah. And the biggest one of them is the great pumpkin from Charlie Brown, the president of states. Yes, because he has have us united. But the president of states, Donald Trump himself, he is the number one person to say, oh, if those guys don't want to play, maybe they shouldn't play football. Maybe they shouldn't be in this country. Really? Really? Really, Mr. Commander-in-Chief? Really? That's how you're supposed to act? This is why you get no respect from anybody in real life. This is why you get no respect for the community, because this is how you talk. So, this is what the NFL has passed down. After taking a poll with their owners, they have come to an agreement that these are the rules of now when it comes to the flag participation. And then, of course, backlash came. Backlash came fast. The first wave of backlash came from where you thought it would come from the talking heads, right? Came from the news outlets, CNN, came from the sports outlets, ESPN, came from the president, you know what I mean, the president of states, Donald Trump. You understand? Like it hit all known news outlets. First backlash, talking heads. Yes, Donald Trump is a talking head. The POS, president of states. POS Trump, president of states. The second wave of backlash, probably was the shocking, because you would assume the second wave of backlash would come straight from the players. No, that's not what happened. The second wave of backlash came from the owners. The second wave of backlash came from the NFL owners. And it was very proudly led by my it came from my Jets, Mr. Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, but the owner that's not longer the head of football operations, but the owner of the Jets came out and he said, bitch, if you find my players, I'm gonna pay my players fine. Seriously, because what the NFL came out and said is that if anybody does this, we're gonna find the players, we're gonna find the clubhouses, and we're gonna find the players, and we'll find the clubhouses, we'll find the players. All right, we'll find the organization, we'll find the players. Woody Johnson, owner of the Jets, came out and said that if any of my players get fined, I'm gonna pay their fine. I'm going to pay their fine.
Coke, dope, crack, smack, weed, E's and CDs. They had it all for cheap.
So when I heard the second wave of backlash coming from the NFL owners, the people that the NFL said that they collaborated with to come to an agreement to pass this law, is now the second wave of backlash, which is technically the first wave of backlash from the organization that it actually matters in. Because nobody cares about the talking heads. The talking heads is just a representation of the people, of just what's going on out there, right? Just like me, it's representation what's going on out there. But when you hear backlash from the owners and the players, that's something different. We expected there to be backlash from the players. We expected there to be a whole bunch of backlash from the players, because the players are supposed to have backlash. They are the workers here. But when the owners, the people that you said were part of this agreement or part of that backlash, now we're breaking news. Now we're saying something. Because who did you collaborate with? Who did you agree with? If the owner of the New York Football Jets are coming out and saying, yo, you find my players, I'm gonna cover my players fine, then who did you agree with? Who was this agreement with? And then you hear the other owners coming out and say, and listen, Woody Johnson came out and said perfectly fine, listen, I would like for them to stand. I would love for them to stand. But I can't invoke on their rights. I can't do that. So I will allow them to express themselves the way they need to express themselves, and any form of protest isn't non-violent. And if the NFL wants to fine them, then I will pay their fines. And that one statement alone, believe it or not, moved the mountains. It absolutely moved mountains.
Crack, smack, weed, E's, and CDs. They got it all for cheap.
Because now it shows that there's some kind of disconnect there. This wasn't an agreement between the owners and the NFL organization. No, this is something the NFL organization decided to pass itself. This is something that Roger Goodell basically passed himself. Because of the first set of backlashes from the owners, and you had no agreement. The players didn't even have to get involved. And also, if you heard this, and if your first response was, oh yeah, about goddamn time, yeah, they didn't put it some kind of goddamn. Basically, if you sound like Donald Trump, then shut your fuck up. Because your first thought should have been to, how did they pass this law or this rule without it being collectively bargained? That should have been your first question. And while you ponder that question, we're going to take a break from another one of our sponsors. And when we come back, who knows? We may start breaking down this Cleveland-Boston series that's about to get started in a couple of minutes. But until then, we'll be back to the Mighty Sports Podcast right here on MyTRadio.net and streaming live on YouTube.
It's 420 somewhere, and you should be prepared. And there's no better way to prepare like heading down to Smoky News, where you'll find all your smoking accessories from vapes, bongs, pipes, papers, incense, cleaners, and more. Just go to Smoky News at 1311 Southeast 17th Street, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33316. Tell them MyT Radio sent you and receive a special in-store discount. It's not an include lottery or tobacco products. It's 420 somewhere, and you should be prepared. And there's no better way to prepare like heading down to Smoky News, where you'll find all your smoking accessories from vapes, bongs, pipes, papers, incense, cleaners, and more. Just go to Smoky News at 1311 Southeast 17th Street, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33316. Tell them MyT Radio sent you and receive a special in-store discount. It's not an include lottery or tobacco products. It's 420 somewhere, and you should be prepared. And there's no better way to prepare like heading down to Smoky News, where you'll find all your smoking accessories from vapes, bongs, pipes, papers, incense, cleaners, and more. Just go to Smoky News at 1311 Southeast 17th Street, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33316. Tell them MyT Radio sent you and receive a special in-store discount. It's not an include lottery or tobacco products. It's 420 somewhere, and you should be prepared. And there's no better way to prepare like heading down to Smoky News, where you'll find all your smoking accessories from vapes, bongs, pipes, papers, incense, cleaners, and more. Just go to Smoky News at 1311 Southeast 17th Street, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33316. Tell them MyT Radio sent you and receive a special in-store discount. It's not an include lottery or tobacco products. It's 420 somewhere, and you should be prepared. And there's no better way to prepare like heading down to Smoky News, where you'll find all your smoking accessories from vapes, bongs, pipes, papers, incense, cleaners, and more. Just go to Smoky News at 1311 Southeast 17th Street, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33316. Tell them MyT Radio sent you and receive a special in-store discount. It's not an include lottery or tobacco products. It's 420 somewhere, and you should be prepared. And there's no better way to prepare like heading down to Smoky News, where you'll find all your smoking accessories from vapes, bongs, pipes, papers, incense, cleaners, and more. Just go to Smoky News at 1311 Southeast 17th Street, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33316. Tell them MyT Radio sent you and receive a special in-store discount. It's not include a lot of real tobacco products. It's 420 somewhere, and you should be prepared. And there's no better way to prepare like heading down to Smoky News, where you'll find all your smoking accessories from vapes, bongs, pipes, papers, incense, cleaners, and more. Just go to Smoky News at 1311 Southeast 17th Street, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33316. Tell them MyT Radio sent you and receive a special in-store discount. It's not include a lot of real tobacco products. It's 420 somewhere, and you should be prepared. And there's no better way to prepare like heading down to Smoky News, where you'll find all your smoking accessories from vapes, bongs, pipes, papers, incense, cleaners, and more. Just go to Smoky News at 1311 Southeast 17th Street, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33316. Tell them MyT Radio sent you and receive a special in-store discount. It's not include a lot of real tobacco products. It's 420 somewhere, and you should be prepared. And there's no better way to prepare like heading down to Smoky News, where you'll find all your smoking accessories from vapes, bongs, pipes, papers, incense, cleaners, and more. Just go to Smoky News at 1311 Southeast 17th Street, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33316. Tell them MyT Radio sent you and receive a special in-store discount. It's not include a lot of real tobacco products.
And we are back to the Mighty Sports Podcast. I am still your host, Tyler Thomar Taylor. If you're still listening, that means you're listening on the many platforms that we have provided for you. MyTRadio.net, MyTSports.net. You can catch them on the YouTube page, MyT Sports Podcast. Catch it on Facebook, MyT Sports. We're everywhere that you want to be. This is MyT Radio, where every voice is MyT. So we are back, right? And we're back just in time, like I said, for the start of what's going to be this Cleveland versus Boston. Cleveland versus Boston. Cleveland versus Boston. I'm not going to lie. This particular matchup is kind of intriguing to me. I thought Cleveland probably would have won Game 5. I didn't think that Cleveland would allow themselves to go down 3-2. I didn't expect, and I still don't expect, LeBron James to keep looking as injured as he is, as exhausted as he is. Basically looking as if somebody shot him in the lungs and he's just bleeding out on the court. Like, that's what it looks like. Is it just me that sees this, or does everybody see this? LeBron James being tired all of a sudden. I'm not quite sure I like this look. I'm not quite sure I like the way this perceives him. Right? Because what happens, right? What happens here? LeBron James looks tired, right? LeBron James looks tired. And you know, let's get this straight. Right? Because before we get into these playoffs, right? Before we actually get into these playoffs, like, can we kill some of this narrative that's following LeBron James? Can we kill some of this narrative that's following him? That narrative that says that, oh, what he is doing at 15 years in the league is so phenomenal. It's so great. I'm not buying it. Let's put some things in perspective here, right? Let's put some true things in perspective here. LeBron James can't get both sides of the stick. You understand? He can't be the toast. He can't be the buttered side of the bread and the non-buttered side of the bread. You understand? He can't be both sides. Basically, he can't have it both ways. And what am I talking about? What am I talking about? You can't have both ways. The narrative on LeBron James. The narrative on LeBron James can't be, oh, what he's doing 15 years in the league is something that we've never seen before. And at the same time, we give him all the accolades for doing what he's done as the youngest player in the league, because he is the youngest player to come into the league. So let me expound a little bit, right? Watch this game kind of start off over here. Let me expound just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. LeBron James. LeBron James. Okay. Let's get back over here. There's two different things here, right? There's two different elements here. There are completely two different elements here that are playing a factor, right? Two different elements. The first element being that LeBron James came into the league when he was 17 years old, right? Came into the league when he was 17 years old. So 15 years in is a little bit miscued, right? Because if he would have done what most players have done that have preceded him, right? The Michael Jordans, the Tim Duncans. Not Kobe. Kobe is the one exception. Kobe is one of the few exceptions. Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, but still one of the very few exceptions, because basically he's only battling Kobe. And listen, I've been very consistent with this, because when they used to talk to us about Kobe, I felt the same way about Kobe too. You can't say that Kobe is the youngest person doing this, or give him such the accolades of reaching all of these standards at the youngest age, when he's come into the league younger than anybody else. And now the comparison between LeBron James and Kobe is that, listen, LeBron James just started with more minutes earlier than anybody else, or Kobe did. Granted, Kobe didn't prove himself to be the kind of player that LeBron was early on, but LeBron James was given more room to prove that early on than Kobe was. You see Mark Jackson and Van Gundy getting ready to call this game. I can listen to those guys talk all day. You know who I can't listen to talk all day? Paul Pierce, Reggie Miller. You need to get those bums off of television. It's like chalkboard. So back to this LeBron thing, right? Back to this LeBron thing. What gets me here is that you can't have it both ways. They keep trying to make it seem like what LeBron James is doing at 15 years in is phenomenal. And it is phenomenal when you compare it to everybody else when they've been 15 years in. Because if I came to you and I said to you that, look at what LeBron James is doing at age 32. Look at what LeBron James is doing at age 33. Right when most players are right there in their peak. Think about that. If I said to you, look at what LeBron James is doing at 32, 33 years old, when most players are in their peak. Look at what Michael Jordan did at that time. That was 10, 11 years into the league. Look at what Kobe Bryant was doing. Look at what all guys were doing just about 10 years into the league, when just around the time they were around 32, 33 years old. Now, if I tell you, now compare what LeBron James is doing to what every other player has, every other great player, every other top 50 player, every other Hall of Fame player that has done this at that age, between 32 and 33, 31 and 33. Now, how special is what LeBron James is doing looks. It doesn't look that great. But you know what they keep adding on to that? You know the little caveat they keep adding on to that? Oh, it's 15 years in the league. Oh, it's 15 years in the league. Yeah, it's 15 years in the league, but that's 15 years because he isn't 37 now. That's 15 years because he isn't 38 now, because he didn't have to go through college. That's 15 years because he isn't 36. That's 15 years because he isn't 35. That's 15 years because he isn't 34. So when LeBron James gets to do this at 32 and 33 years old, and you're looking at it, and you're like, oh, that's not that great, because think about most players did that. That's the peak of their prime. Let's see what still happens at 34, 35, 36 years old. Because that's when those guys really started to break down. That's when those guys really weren't in their peak any longer. And that's why they only had 12-year careers, 12 years of productive careers. LeBron James was able to eke out so far 15 of them. Buku to him. Yes, that's a hell of a job. But he's only 32, 33 years old. What players do at 32, 33 years old is kind of comparable to what LeBron James does. You're still in your peak. Most people's peak, they're considered usually between 27 and 32. We're just used to thinking that once somebody is 15 years in the league, that they're out of their peak. So what he's also being judged by, when you're judging him at 15 years in the league, you're judging him against every single player before him that was out of their peak. You're not judging him based off of the players that are in their peak. Do that. Then come and tell me how great does the generous king looks, as he is now down 3-2 to Boston. Boston that doesn't have Kyrie Irving. Boston that doesn't have, what is his name? What is his name? What is Gordon Hayward? Whichever one of the Hayward boys that is. He's down 3-2 to them. And am I saying he's out of this? No, I'm not saying that at all, because listen, LeBron James and them, listen, as exhausted as he may have looked, and listen, it's funny now, he's exhausted now, and this is the part of the schedule where you now play every other day, and you no longer have at least 2-3 games in between games. Now you're playing every other day, and now he's exhausted. He's tired. Oh my God! I played 82 games for the first time since my rookie season, and I think me being to 8 finals or something. But oh my God, I'm exhausted now. You know, like I'm in the peak of my physical prime, because he's 32, 33 years old. He is still in the peak of his physical prime. I'm exhausted. I can't breathe. My legs are cramping. Oh my God. I'm so tired. This is what we're headed from. I don't want to hear it. Because first you want us to be like, oh, let's praise you for being to this many finals, and now you're gonna be like, oh my God, because it brings me down. I'm just tired, B. I told you, generous King James, under his watch, everybody wins a ring. Now, while I believe that Golden State may have a window to come back into the series because Chris Paul is injured, this is gonna be something different. This game is about to start. I feel like Boston has to do this in a row. I understand Boston doesn't win a lot on the road, but Boston had to win on the road to get to Cleveland. Don't forget that. Excuse me. Boston had to win on the road to get to Cleveland. So Boston can win on the road. Do they often do it? That's something different. So we're gonna see if they can take this lead. They're up 3-2 against Cleveland, because I don't care how they look. And I kept on mentioning this. Remember when Boston was up 2-1? And I told you that Boston needs to take a 3-1 victory. You don't want this to go back 2-2, because then Game 5 was a toss-up game. And while Game 5 didn't look like a toss-up game, because Boston played like Boston played at home, and Cleveland played unconventionally. LeBron James played unconventionally, whereas Cleveland played unconventionally. But now you have them going back to Cleveland. And LeBron James keeps saying it himself. See, once again, he can't keep talking out his ass. Listen, and maybe they're both duly true. That he's LeBron James, he's the best player in the world. He doesn't have to worry about being down 3-2
in a conference finals because he's been down 3-1 in the NBA championship and come back. Right? But so this is why I say to Boston needs to take this now, because I don't care how tired he looked in Game 5. I don't care what condition you may think is. I don't care how his role players may look. Part of the reason why I thought they needed to win Game 3 because they weren't ready for the level of intensity Cleveland was going to come out with. Game 4 when it was up 2-1. Same thing here. You don't know what Cleveland feels like. You don't know what LeBron James looks like when his back's against the wall. And LeBron James knows how to raise his level of intensity. If we're talking levels right now, if we're talking just levels right now, LeBron James has basically been getting through this NBA Finals in Super Saiyan 1 mode. Just Super Saiyan mode. And now he is realizing that Super Saiyan 1 mode is not going to get able to take the job done. And Boston is thinking that they can match Super Saiyan level 1 mode, but they got a glimpse of Super Saiyan 2 mode. They had a glimpse of it, and they weren't able to keep up. They're about to go into Super Saiyan 2 mode. And if Boston thinks that they can keep up with Super Saiyan 2 mode in this playoffs, then in Game 7, if they allow it to go there, prepare for level 3. There are levels to this shit, and I don't think Boston is ready for that yet. Boston may think they're ready. They're not ready yet. I hope they're ready. Because we did a poll. It was our most successful poll to date. 175,000 votes made. Who do you like to see lose more? The choices were LeBron James, Kevin Durant, the Cleveland Cavaliers, or James Harden. I guess I should have put the Cleveland Cavaliers last, but I forgot about James Harden. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, James Harden, or the Cleveland Cavaliers. With 48% of the votes, it was LeBron James. With 14% of the votes, the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the Cleveland Cavaliers were voted for. Listen, LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers got 62% of the votes. Second was Kevin Durant. Nobody wants to see James Harden lose yet. I prefer to see James Harden lose over Kevin Durant right now. Because I like me some stuff. I'm sorry. So for me, Boston needs to win Game 6. Because if it goes to Game 7 and it's in, and even if it's in Boston and they've been undefeated in Boston, I don't think they're ready for the level of intensity that Cleveland will come out with. And Boston may just have a little bit in the back of their head that we'll win because we're in Boston, because we'll do the right things then, and maybe not for certainly do the right things. We're going to go to our last sponsor. When we come back, actually, no, you know what? Yeah, when we come back, we go to our last sponsor. I can't leave my boy out. We're going to finish up this NBA talk. We're going to tell you where you can find me next week. We're going to talk about some wrestling results, and where you can find me in the next couple of months for some other events. And also, where you can find me in the daytime. This is Tony Taylor. This is the MyTRadio.net. Streaming right now live on YouTube, and you can listen on MyTRadio.net. So you may want to start drinking so you can start dancing. But regardless of what you do, you make sure you do that with DJ Scepter. That's every Friday from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Ladies, you bring your sexy. Fellas, you bring your swag. It's going down at Capone's. But wait, there's more. Trying to figure out what to do on a Wednesday? Yes, hump day? You'll find DJ Scepter at O'Malley's from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. That's right there on 441 between Coconut Creek and Royal Palm Boulevard. DJ Scepter plays everywhere that you want to be, whether that's a birthday, a wedding, bar mitzvah, quinceanera, proms, corporate events, bachelor or bachelorette parties. DJ Scepter puts a royal touch on everything. And for reservations, just send a simple email to bookings@djscepter.com. That's bookings@djscepter.com. Stuck trying to figure out what to do on a Friday again? Well, stop worrying and stop thinking and head down to Capone's nightclub in downtown Fort Lauderdale. This is where you'll find DJ Scepter mixing in the lounge room so you can start dancing and start drinking. And we understand, some of you may be an introvert, so you may want to start drinking so you can start dancing. But regardless of what you do, you make sure you do that with DJ Scepter. That's every Friday from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Ladies, you bring your sexy. Fellas, you bring your swag. It's going down at Capone's, but wait, there's more. Trying to figure out what to do on a Wednesday? Yes, hump day? You'll find DJ Scepter at O'Malley's from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. That's right there on 441 between Coconut Creek and Royal Palm Boulevard. DJ Scepter plays everywhere that you want to be, whether that's a birthday, wedding, bar mitzvah, quinceanera, proms, corporate events, bachelor or bachelorette parties. DJ Scepter puts a royal touch on everything. And for reservations, just send a simple email to bookings@djscepter.com. That's bookings@djscepter.com.
And we are back to the Mighty Sports Podcast. I am still your host, Dallin Domar Taylor. If you're still listening, then I gotta thank you for listening. I gotta thank you for listening. And you know what? I should have been a little bit more prepared before you guys came back here. But you know what they say? We ain't gonna have no taxation without causation. So as I told you, like we've been here and we've been there, and we've been all over the place so far, right? And we've done a couple of events. The last event that we did was Platinum Pro Wrestling, where I was the ring announcer. So if you guys ever got a chance to come, that one was down in Cooper City. We may be having the next one in town Miami. It's gonna. Well, we don't have the event yet. We don't have the actual location, but we do have where the event's at. Actually, no. What am I saying? They do have everything settled so far. They do have everything settled because you can start buying your tickets now. Right, it's for their Independence Day event. It's gonna be on July 7th. Go ahead and get your tickets for Platinum Pro Wrestling, where you can get we're there a notch above the rest. So yeah, go get your tickets. So let's go through a couple of these matches, right? At least the matches that I can remember, because I did not one bit of the write down the results. That's going to be something that I make sure that I do from here on out, so that I can make sure that I give you guys proper results of these matches. So the first match we saw was between Mad Dog Williams as he took on Big Kahuna with his manager, the fabulous coach Kiki Roberts. All right, Mad Dog Williams was one half of the New Blood Rising, right? And this match was scheduled for one fall, so pinfall by Mad Dog Williams. As listen, as Big Kahuna Khan still has some ways to go. Big Kahuna Khan is trying to lose some weight. He doesn't want to be called Big Kahuna Khan anymore. He just wants to be called Kahuna Khan, and he's in there. He's trying to lose some weight, but he can't put down the Twinkies. He just can't seem to put down the Twinkies, and maybe that's why he lost his match. How did he win that match? I told you I can't remember all of these things. I think he lost that match though. So I'm gonna say that Mad Dog Williams lost to Big Khan Kahuna in that match. And you know, I probably really should even talk about matches I don't remember the results for. Like I don't remember the results of the Des Griffin and Chuckles match. I shouldn't even talk about that. But Treehouse Lee versus Chris Silvio with the fabulous Jenna James said, 205 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. You check them out. That match was won by Chris Silvio by pinfall. There were no submissions here. There was no countouts. Everything was won. We saw Jenna Van Muscles beat La Varenza. Jennifer had muscle, 205 pounds, twisted steel and sex appeal. We saw her beat La Lorenza. As I'm telling you, things are starting to line up for the next event. A couple of title defenses coming in the win. Now listen, Dynamite Diddy wasn't there this match, and the last time that Jenna Van Muscle and Dynamite Diddy fought, it was a double countout. So they still owe the match. They still owe the match with a result at that. Trying to see what that is. You see what that is? What is that? We saw CJ Doyle, the fabulous Frank, take on Dante Marcus Carter, DMC. We saw CJ Dog come away with that victory. Next, we saw Dakota with the Music City Messiah, Caden Grade, and the Bastard Son, Ronnie Rios, take on TC Reed and Mike Monroe with Jim Sheridan. This was for the Doubles Division Championship match, and that match saw the Tech come away victorious. Ava Story took on the Diamonds Division champion Rocky Rowley. Rocky Rowley successfully defended her title, and you need to get a T-shirt from my Munchkin Radley. You like seriously. My Munchkin comes out to the event. She likes wrestling. You need to get her a T-shirt. This is unacceptable. This is now the second player we're seeing down in this Boston versus Cleveland game. First, we saw Jalen Brown down on his back, taking some time to get back up. And the next time we see now Kevin Love spend some time to get back up. As it seems that on a pick play that Kevin Love and Jason Tatum collided and bashed heads. I don't know if they bashed heads or if that was just whiplash. But Kevin Love fell to the ground, and it seemed that he definitely caused some whiplash. And it looks as if his head may have bounced off the floor. That game has now gone to a commercial break as they take a look at both plays to make sure everybody's okay. This is not looking good. This is not looking good. If Kevin Love is out for this game for Boston, if he can't come back in because of concussions, then they may be in trouble. But even more so, if Jason Tatum can't come back into this game because of concussions or concussion protocols, and we may also be in trouble as well. We're gonna see how this plays off. For our co-main event of the evening, we saw the child of the 8th day, Saif Al-Sabah, take on the PPW Silverweight Champion from Star Island, Miami, Mr. All the Way Up, the 5-star superstar, Matt Stardom. And folks, Max Stardom remained your reigning, defending, undisputed PPW Silverweight Champion. And the main event of the evening was a battle for commissionership. It was a no holds barred, falls count anywhere, no time limit, must win match, where you had the current GM Montoya, represented by Larry Lane and Chris Charger, take on the team Magnum, who was challenging him for his commissionership. If Magnum loses, Magnum is fired. If Montoya wins, or Montoya loses, we don't know what happens to Montoya. But if Montoya wins, Montoya just wins. But if Magnum wins, Magnum is the new GM. And then who knows what happens. Team Magnum was represented by Derek, Dominic, and Max A. Million. And folks, can I tell you? This match was compelling. This match was righteous. And the funniest thing about this match, I'm not gonna lie, the funniest thing about this match, I'm gonna have to take a little bit behind the scenes. Funniest thing about this match was that I had to warn everybody that they needed to get out of the way. Just in case the match spilled over into the area, I had to warn them that, hey, that you guys just need to be careful or get out the way if you see any other wrestlers come your way. And no doubt, I don't even take my own advice, because what happens? I get caught up in the middle of the match. But you know what happened? Unfortunately, somebody lost their job that night. And it wasn't Montoya. And it wasn't Magna. But Montoya lost his commissioner job. As Team Magnum became victorious, I don't even know who was. Chris Charger was put through a table. Like, actually, I'm sorry. Maximilian was put. Derek Dominic was put through a table. I'm sorry. It was a brutal, brutal match. So Team Magnum won. Magnum is your new GM. But, there was some dastardly. There was some double crossingness that happened there, as Chris Charger turned his back on his partner Larry Lane. So now what we're gonna have is a match set up for Independence Day, where Larry Lane gets to get his revenge against the partner that turned his back on him. It's gonna be Larry Lane versus Chris Charger. And in the corner of Larry Lane, yes, it's Montoya, folks. As they both get an opportunity for redemption. Because if Chris Charger didn't turn his back on Larry Lane, then you know what? Maybe Team Montoya would have won. So come and check me out on July 7th. You're gonna see me posting more information on my Facebook page. It's gonna be for July 7th. Come out there, check out the show. It will be MyT. Woo! But even closer than that. Right? Can you guys see this? Can you guys see this? Even closer than that. Can you guys see this? Right? I don't care if you can see my face or not. Can you guys see this? On June 1st. When is that? June 1st. That's this Friday, but I could have swore that was gonna be I could have swore they said next Wednesday. I could have swore they said Wednesday. Oh no. I really was hoping it was gonna be. Well, you know what? I can still make the first. Okay. So June 1st, I will be able to make that. June 1st, all right? Juice Buzz and Market Juicery. A conscious view taking. Oh my God, you should chase his juices. If you would have caught me in the Brooklyn Cafe earlier, we would have saw the juices. So, if you want to know about some of these juices, go check out the Brooklyn Cafe. Check out their show from earlier today, and you'll see everything that you need to know about these juices. These juices were phenomenal. But check out the juices, right? Check out the juices. Check it out, right? Juice Buzz Market, a conscious bouquet, right? They have a grand opening on June 1st. It's gonna be from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm gonna be there. The cast of the Brooklyn Cafe is gonna be there. We're probably gonna get the boys from Brooklyn out there. You should come out there. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna make this an event. This is gonna be an event. As you see, the address is 6 Northeast 5th Avenue, Delray Beach, Florida. Some of the juices that they have, right? I'm probably gonna just read this. The juices that they have is not back there. Sorry. So let's give you a little rundown of the schedule. All right. At 12 p.m. we got the Roots Botanicals. At 12:30 we got the Green Girl Kitchen. At 1 o'clock they got Raw Miss. Oh, so at 1:30 we're gonna get Mad Natural. No, you guys can just look at that. You guys can look at that yourself, right? You see that schedule? 1:30 to get Mad Naturals. 2 o'clock to get Plant Protein Bars. At 2 o'clock there's Raw Elements. At 2:30 there's Raw Elements. At 3 o'clock there's Sunny and Manners. Sunny and Mames. 2:30 it's Community. 4 p.m. is Delray Chamber Ribbon Cutting. So that's going to be the official ribbon cut. I've never been to a ribbon cutting before. 4 o'clock also, you're going to see some Under the Sun. At 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., half is going to be happy hour, half off all juices and shots. And I think I heard something about something being like a margarita. I don't know. Or maybe something tastes like a margarita. I don't know. Something may have alcohol in it. I don't know. But we going to see. Folks. And you know what? Thank you. That is a podcast. That is the whole entire podcast. I know it's been a while since we given you one of these, and even this one happened to be a little bit extended. We're trying out a whole bunch of new things, so don't worry. Don't worry, folks. I will get everything back to you guys. I will get this back on to the live stream in MixLR. And I think I may have figured that one out. We're going to see some things. We really going to see. All right, folks, I thank you for listening to the podcast. I am Donald Omar Taylor. You listen to the My Sports Podcast. I really do appreciate it. You know the 3 things we're going to say. You know the 3 things we're going to say. You know the 3 things. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Always thank you for listening. Please, don't stress and stay blessed. That's all my Taylor. I'm out. And don't forget, let the optimism of tomorrow be your foundation for today. Let the optimism tomorrow be your foundation for today. This is Donald Omar Taylor. I'm out of here.
Sorry, boys. All the stitches in the world can't sew me together again. Lay down. Lay down. Always knew I'd make a stop there. But a lot later than a whole gang of people thought. Last call for drinks. Bars closing down. Sun's out. Where we going for breakfast? Don't want to go far. Rough night. Tired, baby. Tired.
MyT! MyT!